earth. I'm super excited about that. And we have another live audience with us. So you guys can make some noise. It's all right. I feed off your energy. But you know, it's just like a group of friends hanging out. Only I'm just, you know, the one that's throwing paint around. I also have a special guest that's going to be joining me throughout this. We'll have a little chat. You meet her, and I think we have a dog as well somewhere. So
He heard my name.
he did. She has this effect on animals, and we'll talk about that. She's like Snow White, but not all good creatures either. It's not just cute dogs. But as you're joining us, as you get into the chat, as that starts happening, please let me know, where are you watching this from? Where in the world are you? Your city, state, country. I know a lot of you are watching from different parts of the world, different times of the world, so please just check in as the chat opens up. And then also, man, what else? It's been a crazy day, so we're gonna start this chat soon. First, shout out to Dawn Rose, and she said, just make some noise. It's my birthday. Oh, Dawn, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. It says you're 21 here. So, all right. Happy birthday, Dawn, fellow Sagittarius. Are there any Sagittariuses here with us tonight? None? All right. Yeah, all of them, yes. I think maybe just dog. Also, today we'll get into it more, but I've got one very special painting. I know sometimes I do two, but today I think just this one is just gonna be, I think it's gonna be more than enough. But like I love to do these live stream, the paintings, I like to take my time. It's not gonna be the normal 5-minute painting. We're gonna take our time with this one. We're also gonna have a chat. So again, as you guys are joining, let me know where you're tuning in from. So we have a special guest here. You just wanna say a quick hello before we get into it?
Hi, everyone. I didn't know it was gonna be on the live today, guys. He tricked me. He's like, you look bundled up. And I'm like, yes, I am always dressed like an Eskimo during the fall.
Yeah, literally.
And he's like, you're going to be great on camera. And I'm like, huh?
Well, you should wave to everyone that's out there on that camera. Yep, right
hi.
there, yes. All right, so quick shout out to Flower Mama 323 on Instagram. She says, Sag Rising, I like that energy. Love it. You know what? I'm going to enjoy the Sagittarius today because I have a family full of Virgos. So I go into hiding in September, pretty much. And my son is a Virgo as well.
Over there.
All right. So you know what? Let's go ahead and get into the live stream. Let's start. Working well. We're always like double checking all this technology that makes this happen. Where there's Ray's back behind me, running all the tech. We've also got some fellow like cameramen as well making this happen. So again, welcome everybody. If you didn't see in the title already, if you're just joining, this is a special birthday live stream. We usually do these live streams on the weekends, and today was a crazy day. I actually did a whole show earlier for this. It's like a private corporation. We did a virtual performance for them. I was running my kids around all day, and then I'm not going to tell them which DMV it is because I don't want everyone to go there, to be honest. I don't want to share.
It's a secret, guys, but it's a DMV that it's always empty.
So yeah, I had to go renew my my ID today because it actually expired today. So I went there to this secret DMV.
And then he's saying
Can we
secret.
flip to her also? Can we go back and forth between her?
He's saying
There we go.
secret because I was the one who told him about it because he told me how to go to the DMV, and I was like, all right, I'm going to tell you about this place, but I'll kill you if you tell anybody else.
No, she wasn't going to tell me.
I honestly thought about it because he likes to share everything, and I'm like,
Do.
you know,
I want to scream it right now. I want to tell the world, like, go to this DMV, or like, I wish he could bleep me out or
maybe
something.
we'll just tell the people in the audience.
Yep, you know what? See, it pays
That's
to
because
be
they're
in the
here.
live audience.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna tell them here when we're off air which DMV it was, and you can thank me later.
Yeah,
That's all right.
they'll be their early Christmas gift.
Yeah, we'll call it a cheap Christmas gift. No, because we're saving you time, so
Yes,
that's all right.
time is money.
All right, so let's do some shout outs real quick. I know there's people that are joining us and we're just chatting away. I do have one painting for you for this special birthday live stream. So real quick, if you have a city, state, or country, I want to shout you out. So Naomi from San Antonio, shout out to you. Let's see, Roy from Indiana. Tina Thomas is showing love to Dawn Rose. It's her birthday today. Sharon Knox, thank you so much for the love. Appreciate it. And Chris Yini, yes, Sagittarius unite. We're like a Sagittarius
Clan.
Why am I blanking on the Transformer?
It's getting older. That's why you're blanking.
I know. Oh, I'll actually. We're gonna when we start painting, we're gonna take another break to chat. I'm gonna share with you the most amazing gift I got ever. We'll get to that. All right. It just defines that I'm getting older. Let's see. So Angie Anderson, so exciting. She says a customer brought in a painting of yours to frame in Placerville. So sending shout out to Placerville. There's another David Garibaldi Jr. on there.
What?
That's his name on the chat. All right. Keep it moving. I'll have my lawyers looking at that. No, I'm kidding. Tina Thomas, Southern Oregon, welcome to you. And of course, my mom, who couldn't be here today. She's, of course, in the chat as always. So let me just go to Instagram before we start this painting off. I've got one painting for you today. And let's see if you guys are shouting out your city, state, or country. I see some. So let's see. Hitting Guru, Queens, New York.
That's right.
You got that New York love, right?
Yep.
Yeah. We got to go to Chadi. When I reference, there we go, because she's going to be just in mid-laugh the whole time. Andrew.monday.18, Sacramento. Justin Siegel, who's also a performance painter, I believe. Thanks for the love. Appreciate it. And also one last one from Ray from Bisbee in El Paso, Texas. So thank you guys for just hopping in the chat. We're going to keep referencing you guys and checking back in throughout all this. But I want to get into the first painting to kick off this special birthday live stream. I've got this special guest. Just be ready, because we may go to you. Also, we have our audience here. They're going to be asking questions as well. So let's get into it. Let's paint. All right, welcome everybody. This is Art Life Live, the special birthday edition. We've got our live audience. They're gonna be asking questions, but also I want you to step up in the comment section, ask away. Even if we don't get to it right away, we'll get back to it. I've got Ray who will shout out those questions for me, and then I'll do my best to answer them. But let's get into it. All right, let's paint. So, people usually ask me how I choose the subjects. Today, it'll make sense why I chose this one. But, you know, I just try to find things that are challenging mostly, because I do so many paintings throughout the year, and these live streams, I try to do things that I can't do at a live show. So I try to do things that, you know, I couldn't otherwise do anywhere else. But this first part, we're gonna go over here and get some purple. I like to lay down the first color, which is like an undertone. So this color will actually show through no matter how many colors I add on top of this, how many skin tones, this will shine through. And you can, for your undertones, you can really choose any color. If you're gonna end up with a warm image, you can choose warm colors to do this with. I'm gonna have a mixture of warm and cool. Just a different vibe. You may notice too, I'm using both of my hands, but I usually look at this like I'm using both sides of my body. But on stage, it helps cut down time so that I can do these paintings just super fast in the event that you get them done fast on stage. So Ray, if you get any questions in the chat, if you're watching wherever you are in the world, just let me know. Oh, what are my thoughts on Crocs? These are the hard-hitting questions that I was hoping to get. Oh, by the way, we're on TikTok as well. Shout out to TikTok. So, what are my thoughts on Crocs? Well, I'll just have to pray for everyone who's wearing them. No, I think they're interesting. I think it's a very expressive form of fashion, to say the least. Up until a certain age. No, they're very comfortable for children. They're amazing. No, we have. I don't, but I have similar things. They're like Croc-esque. They're not Crocs, so that's why I can't hate too much, because I love some comfy shoes. But no, I just teased my good friend because he walked in here one day with them and he was just so excited. I was like, bro, I'm gonna love seeing this every day and just roasting. So thanks for that hard-hitting question. Was that Nessa that asked that? All right, of course. Oh my God, if I was a hot dog. Wow, I don't know, I might regret opening up the questions. If I was a hot dog eating myself, probably. Tough times require tough decisions, and I'm willing to make those. These are the questions that help inspire great art, folks. This is why we do this. No, in 2020, when the world shut down, I went from doing 100 plus shows a year around the world to 0. And like everyone else in the world, we were all just sitting around like, what's gonna happen next? No one knew. And I really took this time to think about, what can we do to not have to depend on live shows? And also, what can we do to just pass the time? So we came into the studio, we had just moved in. Again, we got the keys middle of March. The world shuts down. And I was just like, let's just do these live streams. Let's go on TikTok, let's go on Instagram, Facebook. We just had phones at the time. And we just started doing about 3 streams a week, building up, and then TikTok kind of blew up, and we're still here, doing these as consistent as possible throughout the months. But it's just become a really cool outlet. And also I get to, again, paint things that I don't normally get to, which is fun. So I gotta shout someone out who's in the audience tonight. The Bramhams, Jason and Melissa Bramham. Shout out to them. We'll have a chat later, but I have known them for at least 20 years now, probably more. So I went to a high school in Sacramento, in South Sacramento, Elk Grove area, called Sheldon High School. And I was into art, but I was also into dance as well. And naturally, when you're into dance, you start to gravitate towards the teachers that teach those things. And Melissa Bramham, Miss Bramham, she ran the dance program there. She ran the dance company. She could probably correct me on all these terms, but so naturally, we got to know her, but also her husband, Jason Bramham, ran the theater. And we would spend a ton of time after school just really getting familiar with the space, getting familiar with, and I wasn't even in theater. That's the crazy thing, is I just wanted to be around it, learn about it. And so those two, anyways, we'll get into it later. I would love to chat more, but shout out to them for being here. Definitely a part of the journey. And Jason has one of my first live paintings that I've ever done. So big thank you to you. Appreciate that. All right, let's get back to this painting. So I'm just breaking this up into different values. So the light, dark, midtones. This all makes sense later on as it transforms. Brush these colors off. So now we'll hit it with the highlights. So I love using this latex paint as well. There's nothing special about this. It is Bare Ultra paint from Home Depot. It's not like some brand from France or Europe or something like that. It's just from Home Depot here in Sacramento. But I love it because we can get it from anywhere, you know, in the country, and also we can get those same similar colors anywhere in the world as well. All right, let's keep, actually, I'm gonna give up on that color. We're gonna go to this one. But I love it because I don't need to put down a bunch of layers. With acrylics, you end up having to put down a lot of layers and over again. But this, I can just put one down and it's already vibrant. It's already opaque. Just doing a little texturing. So there's a technique that I'm doing. I'm really just dragging the brush on the surface of the canvas very lightly, letting the brush do all the work. I'm just sort of, technical term is called squiggling it around. So that's what I'm doing right now. These are the things that you do when you don't go to art school. You just make stuff up. Also, my kids are here today. Shout out to my kids who are spending time with us. I mean, I'm forcing them to, but thank you guys for not running right now. All right, I'm pretty sure you guys can see what's happening here. Absolutely not. A hot dog is in a category all by itself. Because sandwiches are so glorious as well. So that's the other part of that question, is just you can't discount the gloriousness of sandwiches. One of my favorite sandwich places in Sacramento is Beach Hut Deli. I love Beach Hut. I think they're in other places around the country, definitely on the West Coast. But I love me some. I don't have a hot dog spot. Does anyone know a hot dog spot? Because I do love hot dogs. What's it called? Parker's? All right. Good to know. So, a famous place in LA called Pink's? Okay. Okay. Good to know. So, you know what? Can we actually take that camera over there? And then Ray, I'm gonna go to this camera when I talk. I wanna introduce someone very special who's here. Actually, there's my family's over there. So we've got Chadi, hello. We've got Sophia, say hi, say hi. We've got Mia in the middle and then Crispy on the left. And, but Chadi, I wanna talk to you because I was like going through my busy, crazy day. I don't know where I was dropping the kids off at the time, but then I saw this video pop up on my algorithm and it was like the coolest video that you made. I thought it was super sweet, but thank you for making that.
You're welcome.
Birthday video.
I made a birthday reel, a compilation of David highlights. It's a lot of him dancing.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And then me distorting his face with like Snapchat filters.
Yeah. Which I don't mind.
Basically a video for me. And then I added happy birthday.
Well, so I got my first birthday gift last night. And I've been asking you for this for a long time. What was it? What did I just like freak out over? I was like, this is the most amazing birthday gift ever.
I bought him 2 very expensive pillows.
It's not about the price, all right? It's
Very
not about the
expensive, guys.
price. It is exactly what I wanted.
Because
is a thought.
he travels so much, he's so like catered to fancy pillows.
Whoa. All right.
And so he comes home and he has to fight off the dogs and me off the pillows, but he wanted just, it's nothing like having a good bed, sheets, pillows, because, we spend our time relaxing there. And I think he woke up a couple times, which I bought some wonky pillows, which I thought they were good, but he had a couple stiff necks. And he's like I want to find a really good pillow.
Legitimate stiff necks. I couldn't moved my neck for like a week. I definitely don't recommend the cotton Target pillows. You got to upgrade. Like,
Yeah.
and this is I share this because it's my birthday live stream. I'm just appreciating different things in life now, and pillows, and insoles are two of them. All right, so real quick, just back to the painting. You guys can kind of see this starting to come to life, and you know, up close, and I'll show you more up close in a little bit, but it's sort of like when I'm doing these paintings, it feels like an illusion, because I know at some point it looks like someone or something, but it's just color organized to give the illusion that there's someone there or something there. So, yeah, so we'll give you a close up in a little bit. Oh my gosh. Audience, but can you introduce yourself, please?
I'm Crispy.
Crispy? All right, good to meet you.
What are your thoughts on cats?
Oh, I'm about to lose half my audience right now. I'm sorry to anyone who needs to walk out at this point or log off. You know, let me start by this. I didn't have the best experience with cats growing up. My cats would attack me when I think they're supposed to be like nice, kind pets. And I just didn't have the best experience. So growing up, I just, you know, we just stick to dogs, that's all. I don't judge. If you're into cats, it's all good. Yeah, so, oh. What was that? What was that? Oh, okay. Got it. Thanks for throwing me on the bus, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah. All right, you guys can't see, but half the audience just walked out right now. All right, let's ditch these brushes. I think I got enough out of these broad strokes. We're gonna go just a little bit finer. And there's a lot of space on here, so I know you may think what's happening, but there's gonna be a little twist to this. But let's go ahead and keep going deeper. I'm using the wall as a palette. It's just an easy place to mix my colors. Add just a little bit of detail. That's true. All right, so Smokey was like a cool cat. All the others could go, which they did. Again, shout out to the cat owners. I know they're not all bad. I just had a bad one, that's all. All right, let me flick some gray. I gotta get some of this gray in my beard now. You guys can... Yes. Or yes, please come to the mic. That's okay. Yes, please, yeah. So
I know that you've got.
Do you want to introduce yourself first and then
Sure,
talk in the
hi.
mic so we can
Hi.
all hear you? Just talking, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Jason Bramham. So when you're doing your paintings, I know your background as a dance and obviously animation. But as you're doing your paintings and a lot of your stuff is based on music.
Yeah.
How do you? Are you going and watching live performers? How do you find yourself knowing what fingerings are on specific instruments or the positions of their body as they're in the action of playing their instruments? How do you find that?
Yeah. So there's definitely a lot of studying that goes on, whether it's a singular portrait or whether it's holding brushes, which this one will be. I think just early on, I was always into studying figures. That was something that I enjoyed doing in high school. I got into figure drawing, which is, artists usually don't get into that until until college or higher. And so I was intrigued by that. And then I think even now when I'm looking at portraits, not just great photos of the person, but one, it can translate into style. Two, it's a likeness that captures their personality. And then these are things that I've sort of learned over time, but I probably spend more time studying, preparing than I do actually painting. Even though I do 5-minute paintings, I would hope I would prepare more. But even this one, I'm taking my time. I spent all day on this concept, working on it on and off in between the kids' activities and things like that. Right. So Yeah, there was definitely a lot of studying
Right on.
going on. Yeah.
And then one other question,
Yes.
because I know in the work that I do, in the painting that I do, I'm focused a lot on color, and I'm curious how you found yourself learning what colors to use in shadow, where it's not just black in a shadow, where you're using a purple or a blue or something else. At what point in time did you notice, in reality, that we had color in shadows and not just a grayscale?
I think I became more aware of lighting in general and color usage when I was doing animation, because animation studies a lot of cinema, and animation is the illusion of movement. So we're really pulling from real life. That's our reference. Looking at environments and rooms and how light bounces off of us, coming from various areas. So I started being intrigued in high school, learning about animation and film, and then it's just continued. When I watch films, I'm always watching, like right now, I'm watching you, looking at the key light on your face. And if I were to paint your portrait, breaking it down into these shapes. So it's just something that I enjoy and I just have carried with me everywhere. So if you see me in the Home Depot checkout line, with my paint, I'm probably looking at how I'm going to paint your portrait based on the lighting and environment. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Now, can you just give a little background about how we met? I would love to hear that while I'm working on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time where we were mounting some hip hop productions, and outside of seeing you in the animation department or seeing you come through and do some dance programs, we were mounting those hip hop productions, and we did sort of an all school shout out of wanting to get anybody that wanted to do some urban street art involved. And I think that's when you kind of came in, and we were trying to get people to do some graph art or just anything that we could do that had a urban flair to it. And then I remember asking you if you wanted to work on the murals with me, and at that time I remember you going, I do fine art, I don't do murals. And so so we started playing with that and doing some large scale paintings, and then you and I have just kind of stayed in contact ever since. So
now, there was one specific show though. Was it called maybe Off the Grid? So there was a bunch of hip hop acts on stage, and then there was this wall, and that was like my first live painting, I think, ever. When I first started, I thought I was maybe 19 years old, and I was like, this is amazing. I love this vibe, and I want to keep doing this. So
Right. So yeah, I think that's where I recall you jumping into the painting, at least in the work that I did with me, and then doing some of your fine work. And I had David do my wife's wedding portrait.
That's right.
So that was the gift for her was a portrait of the two of us dancing. So
I was just at your house not too long ago. You were making me some lovely cocktails. We hadn't seen each other in a long time, and I saw that on the wall, and I forgot, 'cause like so much has happened since then. But I was like, man, we go back.
We do.
We go back. So thank you for being here and being part of the journey. I appreciate it. Yeah. All right, so just adding some instruments of the trade up here. Yes. As I see my son's hand raising and my phone in his hand. Okay, great question. See, this is why I love doing the the birthday live stream. So my son asked, what are my thoughts on the halftime performance I did with him? So a little background. My son is not only an amazing competitive gymnast, but he's also insanely crazy about basketball, NBA specifically. So I had an opportunity to do a Kings halftime, which I hadn't done in a while. And I thought, since we're rehearsing locally, we're gonna be local, why not see if he's up for it? So he was, and honestly, I'm sure I told you this, but it was one of the most emotional performances I've ever done. Like, I watched the video, you can go on YouTube, watch it later. But, just there's a moment where I hand the brush over to him. Every time I see that, I'm like, just wiping the tears off. Like, it is a really emotional moment. Just being a father and doing something with your son or any of your kids that, is a passion of yours. So it was amazing, son. Thanks for the question. Yeah, oh, yes. All right, let's go to some finer brushes. Let's get in some more of these details. I'm going to go with the gray first. So when I add the white to the eyes, I know we refer to it as the white, but I still go gray and dark, and then we'll build up from there. It's technically not actually white because there's so much shadow around, unless it's the reflection. I know there's a technical term for it, but it's that part right there, the little reflection. But let's add on just a little bit of reflection onto the ring, the inside of the eyeglasses. Oh my God. So I went to the DMV today and I forgot my glasses. So they're like, can you read the thing? I'm like, yeah, sure. I was literally like, he looked up, I closed it, memorized it. Yes. Oh yes. So my daughter, I have these amazing, wonderful, talented kids. So my daughter is into musical theater, and I think she does more shows than I do. She does these. She had one recently about she was in Mary Poppins, and they've done Lion King and so many more. But have you done Lion King? No. All right. There's a lot of Disney themed ones, that's why. But anyways, I'm also super proud of her. I was trying to get her to do the halftime with us, but she didn't want to do it. So I'm gonna hopefully get a chance to perform with her as well in the future. So we also have a talented cheerleader over there as well. She just looked at me like, boy, don't talk about me. All right, let me just add these highlights real quick, and then we'll keep moving on this painting. You guys doing okay in the audience? You guys doing good? All right. Let's go check in. So real quick, I just want to say, this has been a crazy week as well. So this past week, I just did a halftime for the Carolina Panthers NFL team. And then the night before that, we were in Philadelphia doing a Sixers halftime. And then we were just doing shows back to back. So this feels like a homecoming show and just kind of rounding off the year. It feels good. It's just been a busy, blessed time of the year. All right, hit me with it, Ray. Ooh, what's my favorite holiday Christmas movie? Oh man. I mean, Elf is everyone's favorite holiday Christmas movie. Any? No? Okay, one person. I know Chadi loves that one too. But yeah, definitely Elf. Actually, let me ask you this in the chat. You let me know what is your favorite holiday movie so that we can shout that out. So if we haven't seen it, we'll go see it. So you let us know in the chat what is your, let me get some water. What is your go-to holiday movie? Home Alone, that's a solid one. Solid choice. All right, real quick, before we get into this next part, I want to have a quick chat with Chadi, and then we're going to finish up this painting with, there's a lot of space around, so we're going to get to that in just one moment. But let's go over here. Okay, you guys mind if I hang out for a little bit? Okay, I'm going to sit down right here.
No.
You can sit on my lap. You can sit on my lap.
No.
That's okay, guys. We're not live at all. Okay, we got the family with us. All right, so I'm sitting here obviously with the whole family. We never get to do this. This is fun.
You guys are seeing the real David right now.
Yeah.
Because he's not Garibaldi at the house.
No, I am forbidden to be Garibaldi anywhere else besides when I'm
But
covered.
this is great. I don't think any
thanks.
audience has ever seen this before.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Yeah. So again, you gave me one of the most amazing birthday gifts.
Yep, I got you pillows so you can go to sleep.
Yes. And also you put together the most amazing video as
Yeah.
well. I loved it. Thanks for
Well, I
doing
only had a 1 minute to do a reel.
it. Yeah.
So, I mean, I always want to add more pictures and include, but
But she's capturing everything all the time.
I try to.
Like and not like she's on Snapchat when she's, we're like just hanging out with the family, but she's literally capturing. I think Snapchat has become like the new home movies, or like Instagram stories are like the new home movies. What do you think?
I always try to appreciate the moments. The only reason why I capture videos and pictures as much as I do is because they're moments you can never capture again. And for me, memories are everything. And I know there's only so much limited time we have on this earth. And so I really like to just, enjoy the moment, especially looking back and laughing at him and the kids and just seeing how much they've grown in the last 4 years. We look back at videos and I'm like, oh my God, they look so different 4 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, those of you who are parents and have kids, I mean, they grow so fast. And it's like yesterday they weren't here, and now they're just, full of personality, to say the least. All right, so one last thing. I know you shared about you had this, okay, so in the past year, you've had a lot of allergy reactions recently. And you finally found out,
yes.
you do a little allergy test.
Yeah.
So I don't know, can you explain what the test is and what they do for that?
Okay, so if anybody's struggling with if you're healthy and you keep getting sick and you don't know why, number one is because you live in the city of trees. Sacramento, I never had allergies until I moved here, and that's why I sound nasally right now. I just would always wonder why. I eat really good, I work out, I don't drink, I drink tons of water, and long story short, I did an allergy test yesterday, and they do 55 tests on your back where they basically prick you with some type of environmental to dog dander to mold, everything. And I found I was allergic to everything. I was allergic to 53 out of the 55.
Wait, you have to, so they put the numbers on your back, and then they put the thing next to whatever the category is. And so most people, it's a few of them light up, they kind of bubble up. It was like a grid.
It looked like I had
like
welts on my back. They turned they looked like mosquito bites when they took the pictures, but they turned really red, especially number one. And number one is histamines, which includes from everything from alcohol to dried fruit to spinach to, and spinach, fitness person. Thought I was doing all the right things. Dried fruit, every time I would fly, I would buy, no joke, mango dried fruit. And I'm getting off the plane, I'm every time I fly, I don't know why I get sick.
All right, but we're gonna get through it. It's all right.
Yeah.
Now we know what it is.
Yeah.
We were always wondering what's going on. But now
and
we
even
know.
dog dander.
Yeah, never know. All right, let's get back to the painting. All right, you don't go anywhere because we're gonna chat
Why
some more.
are you making me share this?
I know, this is just, this is our life. So, all right, I'm gonna use a little bit of spray paint. If you guys are sensitive to spray paint, it's okay to step out, but it won't be that much. So, let's see. Let me grab a few colors here. All right. So when people ask me about my past in graffiti, do I still get to do spray painting? Not like I used to, but I still get to dabble in the usage of the spray cans. So I'm just gonna mist this just a little bit to give some lighting context for me. All right, so yeah, we asked earlier, what are your go-to holiday movies? And we're about to find out some. What are they? All right, so we got Home Alone. Die Hard? Is that a Christmas movie?
Absolutely.
Is it? Audience, what do you think? Okay, all right, I'm getting okay signs. Die Hard. All right, what else? How the Grinch Stole Christmas, okay, all right. Elf, yes. Garfield, all right. All right, that's it. All right, those are solid choices. Solid choices. All right, let me pick around here. See, I'm looking for one more color. Actually, we'll come back to that. We'll come back. All right, National, I would say that. The Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon's, that was like a growing up go-to that I loved. All right, let's get to this. So in the beginning of 2021, I started introducing this style called Out of Mind. And I had been doing pop portraits for so long. You know, in 2021, I started doing these NFT drops, and I just wanted to present a new style of work. And so this Out of Mind was sort of just going into the mind of the artist, of the creator, whoever it was that I was painting, just seeing what's going on inside. So all these elements that I'm going to be adding are sort of inspired by that. But today I'm the subject, so I'm going to add some symbols that represent me. Oh yes, please ask away. You can pull it back. You can pull it back like this, like the whole thing tilts back. There you go. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Seeing as you paint in your clothes, how often do you have to buy clothes?
Yes, that's a great question. So how often am I buying clothes? It is a constant battle. I feel like I'm constantly shopping for new stuff. And yeah, laundry is always a problem. Always. All right, let's get some bigger brushes. Start filling in this area. So I'm gonna start with this gold. We're gonna do some warm on the left, some cool on the right. So these portraits are as much about the composition, which means like how things are placed and moved around, as it is about the actual subject and the likeness, all the things that sort of create the portrait. And that's what I really spend more time doing before I start this process, is figuring out what is that composition? How does it all come together? When I hear those sounds, I feel like I'm channeling my inner Bob Ross. He's never too far away, I feel like. All right, let's go back to golds. So it's been a while since I've done a self-portrait, probably a couple years. But all of my favorite artists have done self-portraits. You know, people like Frida Kahlo, Salvador Dali, and artists. If you ever want to work on creating better portraits, you have the best subject in your mirror, because you know exactly what you look like. You know what you need to work on to make it more like you. Let's go back. So the advantage of using the black canvas is, for these moments right here, is just leaving that black behind, which is the negative space. We normally draw that in when using a white surface or a white paper or canvas, but you know, it's been sort of like mastering leaving the black behind, leaving the negative space behind in this whole process, which is very much the opposite of when you grow up drawing on a white surface, drawing on a white canvas, a white wall. let's. Oh man, he is just active tonight. Did they give you sugar before you came in today? Huh? How much sugar have you had today? Just guac and chips? That's all we fed you today? Tell them what else we fed you. We're live on camera. He's well fed. All right, Crispy, hit me with your question.
What inspired you to paint?
Ooh, what inspired me to paint? Well, I lost my job, for starters. That was one reason. No, it was sort of like a calling. So, you know how you're into gymnastics now? You've been in for a long time, for 10 years, and you're 11. Wait, you didn't put you in at 1. All right, you were in at a very young age, but you know, at some point you get to decide if it's something that you really want to continue or not. And that I had that moment when I was 20. I was 20 years old, and I wasn't doing too well in my current job, and a lot of different things in my life were, you know, just not going well. But the one thing that was constant and I wanted to continue was art. So the one way to get my name out to the world was to go to where people were. So I would take my paintbrushes and canvas, and I would just set up in little nightclubs and jazz clubs. And then when I started doing that, I realized that I just enjoy this, even though I'd done it since I was a kid, but I had a moment to decide if I want to keep going. So you'll get to there at some point, whether it's about gymnastics or something else that you're into. But I was 20 years old, so that's when it started. All right. I'm gonna block in a few symbols over here, and we'll keep going. I think they're debating on who's gonna ask the next question. Yes, do you want to pull down the mic to you? Just, it'll tilt. The whole thing comes down. Here, let me help you out. Watch this. The whole thing, just pull it back. There you go, walk it back. There you go.
When did you become bald?
Ooh. You're grounded. No, that's a solid birthday question. All right. I respect it. That's all right. So when did I become bald? I was 18 when I decided to shave my head. Let's be very clear here. I was 18, and I was just started painting. I was so tired of like doing my hair all the time, and that was it. So I also grew up in my mom's hair salon, so I think part of it too was like being rebellious to my mom. But I was 18 years old. All right, so I'm just blocking in a few images that I want to see later on, because I'm going to use a little bit more spray paint, and I want to see these. So I'm sure you guys already noticed that this is a very different process than the performance portraits. Like usually in this amount of time, I would have gotten done, maybe 4 paintings done, but we're also having a chat as well. But I also, as much as I have a love for painting, I also love illustrating and, creating images that are in movement, sort of an animated style. So we're just going to block in quickly some symbolism, some symbols over here. Add some lighting to them. Let's go back to the wall. All right. Just want to create these like liquid globs over here. Oh, yes, go ahead.
What is your most memorable birthday?
Ooh, what is my most memorable birthday? Man, that's a great question. Oh, you know what? One of my most memorable birthdays was in 2019. On my actual birthday, I did a halftime for the Kansas City Chiefs, and it was winter in Kansas City. So you can imagine like the biggest snowstorm happening in the middle of this football field, and they were like, "Do you still want to go out?" I was like, "Oh, I'm going out. Like, we're doing this." And I will never forget that because the show went great, but I swear my hands, I feel like they were like burning of cold. Like they were so cold. The paint, was just freezing. So that was one of the most memorable ones. All right, let me just add a quick little bit of shadow to these. Oh my gosh, what conspiracy theories? Ooh, I don't know if we have time for that. Aliens are definitely real. Let's just go with that first. Let's just go with that one. I'm gonna go with that. Aliens are definitely absolutely real. In the chat, does anyone else agree with that at all? Just give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. So I'm just adding, we were just talking about lighting earlier. I'm just adding some definitions on these objects, these symbols, with this blue light that's coming this way. I'm gonna add a little bit more in a bit. I just don't wanna spray too much spray paint with our live audience here. It can kind of affect some people, so. We're gonna add another one of pink. Again, this pink light coming up. What makes me believe? Why do I feel like my kids are in the chat right now asking? Okay. I think, you know what makes me believe that aliens are real? Being an artist, I have a wild imagination. So when I think about the amount of planets in the galaxy, and when I think about the number of stories of different, people that have encountered them, I'm just, I'm not good at math, but I'm just doing the math on it. It just seems more likely than anything else. So I'm gonna definitely hang my hat on the aliens are real theory. All right, let's get into a little bit more paints right now. We go with a slightly smaller brush. Yes, okay, if you ask a question, you gotta ask in the microphone.
How long does it take to do your hair in the morning?
How long does it take to do my hair in the morning? Believe it or not, yeah. But believe it or not, when I have to shave, it actually takes longer than being able to do my hair. So I don't know, maybe 10 minutes to get a good shave in. All right, we're gonna use this pink to add some effect, some movement, some motion. So after these live streams, I do spend a little time just adding more detail to these objects, because there's things that I may not catch during the live stream that I see later. I'm like, oh, that would be a cool thing to add as well. So keep that there. We're gonna go to our blue. I should really organize these. I keep telling myself this every day when I'm looking for a color, and I still don't do it. Here we go. A lighter blue. Here we go. I'm sorry, what was the question? My favorite time or memory working with Kiss, man. So, little context. I went on tour with Kiss as their opener in 2019, and then just recently from August to October. And I think the first, man, there was so many different moments, but so I had an opportunity to fly with the band on their plane. And I remember sitting in the back of the plane with Gene Simmons, and even though we had done like 80 shows together, this is my first time like flying with them. I'm usually on the tour bus. I'm like, this is a really cool thing. He sits down. First thing he says is, "So how'd you get this gig?" And I just was like, "Did you not hire me?" So, anyways, we had a funny laugh about it because I honestly thought they made a mistake and they wanted me to actually paint on their faces, like do their makeup. I showed up the first day, like, "Are you sure you got the right guy for this?" But no, we had a good chat on that about that, and I think just seeing them every day, they would come in no makeup, and they're just down to earth, cool people, doing what they love. So just getting to know them on that level, out of makeup, throughout the whole tour. There's a lot of stories that I'll save for the memoir, but until then, it's just cool to just get to know them. Well, by the way, if you click this, it'll straighten out. There you go. All right, I need a new spray tip over here. So I never limit myself to just brushes or even just cans, or sometimes I'll use my hands, but you just gotta use what you have available. Also, these cans can do effects that other tools can't. Yes, we have another question. Hi, how are you? And what's your name?
My name is Yuki.
What is it?
Yuki.
Yuki, I love the
Yeah,
name.
I've been a fan, and then I
Yes, thank
started
you.
working with Miss Jasmine, and
Yes.
she said, okay.
Welcome.
So I was like, hey, I've been a fan of him for years.
Yes.
So I was just curious on how you started developing your technique, where you use your hands and brushes.
Yeah, it's a great question. So I started developing the technique, from watching Denny Dent, who first started doing performance painting. He started in the early 80s and big in the 90s. I started in 2003. And there was only like a few videos online at the time because YouTube didn't even exist yet and videos were sort of hard to come by. So I just saw him working with brushes and his hands. And I just thought, well, if he's doing it, I got to try this. So it was really just I was living with my dad at the time. So in his garage, just trying different stuff. And then I would, at the time, just learning in front of people. Yeah, I'm doing live shows when I really was not a good performer at all. Like I had a lot to learn about painting. And so just trial and error and using different tools and techniques. Yeah, great question. All right, let's throw some paint. This is definitely a fun layer. Believe it or not, there's actually an art to throwing paint around, which is crazy. That's probably one thing that I've experimented with more over time, is just being in control of it and knowing which direction to go. And also to not get it in places that you don't want. Go with this purple over here. All right, so my inspiration to begin painting was mostly out of desperation. Again, I had been fired from my job and I just wanted to try something new. I had a passion for, music growing up. I was always an artist. I was into dance. And then none of those things, I got to a point in all of those where I felt like, I don't feel comfortable failing at this. And I think once you get to something where you're actually become a little comfortable with failing at it, that means there's room for curiosity and growth. And when I did my first live painting, I didn't know that this was going to be a path that I was going to be on. When I was at the Fox and Goose in downtown Sacramento that first night, when I started, I thought this will just be a fun way to hopefully sell a painting and make some money for groceries. And literally in that moment, there's like the saying, there's a moment when you're born, and then there's a moment when you realize why you're born. That was it for me. And I would have never experienced that if I hadn't been going through the struggle at that time to just be open to try anything, to put this creativity to work. And from then on, I just dedicated myself to this craft and the process. And we're here today doing this live stream with a live audience and with all of you watching around the world as well. So, and I say that because maybe some people are going through some, breaking points right now. Maybe you feel like there's no hope. I've been there many, many times over and over again. And it was always about reconnecting with what I'm passionate about, whether it's a hobby of yours and that's just what you do as a getaway from what you're dealing with. Then also using those situations to really, use it to grow as well. So there's more I'll go into about that at a later date, but it is something that I hope that, some of you can do, is really find something that's a creative outlet, no matter what you're going through, because it helped me in a huge way. All right, we're gonna put some last final touches on this and then wrap up this birthday live stream. Obviously the self-portrait inspired by the Out of Mind style, but let's go ahead and just get some last touches on this. And then also any last minute questions before we head over to chat for a bit. So I always like to do this and go back with the black. So we started with black, we've added all this color, and then as I add the black now on top of it, it creates an even clear contrast in certain areas on the canvas. So areas that I want the viewer to see as true shadow, I just sort of add a little dab here and there. Let's go ahead and get some lighter colors, get some of this black off. And one more. Let's get this off. So dip it in the water so that the paint flies just a little bit further. So when we started this, it was just a blank black canvas, and now it's transformed into an image. And again, it's just that using color as an illusion, using light, using value, all those things added up to create this portrait. One last handprint. All right, there we go, all done. Thank you all again for joining us for this special birthday live stream. Thank you to our live audience as well. Appreciate you all being here today. Show them some love in the chat. But real quick, take one last look at the self-portrait. I haven't done one in a while, inspired by the Out of Mind style. And just something fun for today. So I'm gonna head over and chat, take one last look. The kids have taken over, yes. All right. All right. All right, thank you everyone again for joining us. Chadi, thanks for hanging out. I think I have to feed you guys next after this.
We have to feed you.
Oh, or yes, or you can feed me.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have Christmas cookies. All right, we'll have to eat those in the car on the way home. So real quick, I just want to check in with the chat before we wrap this up. And again, just thank everybody for hanging out. All right, let's go back to Instagram. And before we sign off, let me know again where you're watching this from, city, state, or country, so I can shout you out. And okay, so Chris Heaney was asking about the pillows. What is there a certain like place, brand? What would you suggest?
Yeah, those are great questions.
Yes.
So I did like a poll with a bunch of people who love sleeping like we do when we can.
We love sleep, yeah.
The top 2 recommendations were hotel pillows from the hotel collection at Macy's or Casper. It's like a new store in the Galleria Mall. So I went with the hotel collection because he specifically said he wants hotel pillows. And so far, so good. He got the medium, like pressure on the pillows.
Yeah, it was
There's like
specifically
levels to this.
Not too soft, not too firm, just right in the middle. Just nice and medium soft. Yeah. But no, it was the best gift. Thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it. Let's do some quick shout outs and then we'll wrap this up. Quick shout out to Mateo Charles, who's in Australia. Thanks for joining as well. And thank you for the text earlier. He's a fellow performance painter that is in Australia. And let's see, I'm just going through the chat in Instagram. Let's see, again, Justin Siegel, thanks for the love. Appreciate that. Yeah, people just asking about the pillows.
I know. I should do like a story on it.
I know. Maybe we should have waited and done like a code, like use code. David needs his sleep for 50% off. All right, well, I see all the comments, all the birthday wishes. Thank you all for watching. Thank our live audience as well for being here. We got to celebrate my birthday with you, so thank you for that. And we'll be back actually this Saturday. We're doing 2 live streams. So one at noon, we'll have a live audience for that. And also another one at 7:30 p.m. I'm just trying to get it in before the end of the year because once we're done with that last live stream, we have one more show on Monday, and then I'm taking some time off. Like it's been a crazy, blessed year. It's been a struggle. It's been everything you could think of, but we're still here. We're blessed. So thank you all for watching. This is Our Life Live. We'll see you on Saturday at noon Pacific Standard Time, 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. Take one last look at the painting. Thank you. Peace. All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. All right.